Good evening and welcome to Dawg Talk Live with Rusty Mansell. Tuesday night, we do this every week. I say, Barry Rutherford, I am on daylight savings time. Welcome to Dawg Talk Live with Rusty Mansell. As always, presented by the number one hotel in America. Not just Athens, Georgia, the number one hotel in America, Hotel Indigo. Guys, can't tell you enough. You know what's coming next week? Texas. I don't think they have any rooms, but I can tell you this. I'm going to be there Friday night. Jake Rowe's going to be there Friday night. I got some visitors lined up. I got people that are coming on Friday night. So we're going to do a show there, and we got some things lined up. Looking forward to my producer says tilt my thing down a little bit. Looking forward to it, man. Again, Hotel Indigo in Athens, guys. I know people are coming into town all the time. You may be in town this weekend for something. If you are, go by Hotel Indigo. I tell you every time. I don't have to read a cue card. I don't have to read a promo. Go by there. It's bad. You know what? It's an awesome place, man. Great patio, great service, just a great area, man. Great hotel. Show you a couple pictures. We will be on that patio. That's where we'll be. That to the right is that. It's a great bar. Listen, I got a club downstairs. Got a great dinner restaurant downstairs. Great service. Great location. Dogs from all over the country. Hotel Indigo in Athens, guys. I don't have to tell you more than once. Just go by there one time. I promise you. Tell them Rusty sent you, and tell them put it on Jake Rowe's credit card. You'll be good to go. All right, guys, let's get into this. I want to start tonight by saying this. Many of you saw yesterday the trailer that dropped for Thunder and Lightning. Thunder and Lightning. That's this documentary. It's been about 2 years in the making for Nick Chubb and Sony Michel. And let me give you a little bit on that. Let me say this, guys. We're going to get the questions in. Go ahead and tell me where you're from. Thank you for checking in. We're going to get two questions pretty quick tonight. I know everybody wants to watch the playoff thing come up here in about 30, 35 minutes. So we're going to be on and off plenty of time. But I want to get to questions. The feedback on questions have been great. So thank you for that. Nick Chubb and Sony Michel. It's coming out November the 14th. Go to Sony Michel's YouTube page. I believe it's two rings and a mic. And that's Sony Michel and YouTube page. Subscribe to that, and they're going to show that on there. They did a great job of this. I've seen it. I haven't seen the ending, although it was 2.5 years in the making. Some of the stuff. Nick came in on the Texans bye week. Sony flew to Atlanta. They filmed some stuff at the end. It'll be interesting. But I tell you this, guys, without giving away everything, when I tell you those guys really open up about everything. They open up about first time meeting each other, kind of being, wasn't real sure about going to school together, two elite running backs, wind up going through injuries together, going through a season like they went through and the highs and lows and just really becoming best friends still to this day. A young man from South Florida, and then you get a kid from Cedartown, Georgia. They did a great job with it. They asked me, it's funny because Nick is, man of not so many words. He sends me a text one night and he goes, "Hey, Rusty, what are you doing Thursday?" And I said, "Nick, I don't know." And he goes, "Would you come down to Cedartown and do a little bit of filming?" I said, "Sure, I will." Had no idea. I walk in, there's a full production team. I'm like, "Wait a minute, Nick. Well, what's going on here?" And they kind of told me what was going on. So it was great to be a part of that. And you guys are going to love this. November the 14th, the day that we're doing a show at Hotel Indigo, the night before Texas, this drops. So you guys are going to love that. Do you want to have people asking me how that you can consume that? It'll be everywhere. But the trailer yesterday dropped, and I appreciate those guys picking me to be on that. But great honor, two great guys, and you guys are going to eat. I'm telling you, it is awesome. So there's my little plug tonight for Sony Michel and Nick Chubb. I don't have to twist your arm to watch something about those two guys. Georgia, Florida. Say it again, guys. Hard to kill. It's not hard to watch because I have been a part of that series. A lot of you have been a part of that series where Florida, I'm old enough, the 80s, to where Georgia dominated that. I was old enough to live through the 90s where Florida took that series over and just controlled it for the better part of 10 years, 11 years there. And now you get into this where Georgia has won 5 in a row, and Kirby Smart's really, carried over that series and turned it around. So, I could go into a lot of detail, guys. We could talk about a lot of different things. Quick off the bat, I think that Georgia missed some shots. You look at early. Let me just give you an example. Early in the game, Brett Thorson has like a 25-yard punt. That never happens. We get a tip ball to Noah Thomas. Should have had it. Get an interception. You get a short field. You get a busted coverage from somebody. You don't have a receiver running that wide open, and they score. So there's a lot of things that Georgia, you had some slow starts, some defense have not stopped, sometimes the offense. The one thing you could trust on Georgia is really not to have a penalties and play great in special teams. Brett, you look at that punt by Brett Thorson, that's not something that you see a lot of. That's not something you see a lot of, and it happened and kind of snowballed on them. But, Peyton Woodring, he's been money all year. I said once he got that mustache, that dude's he's been money. He's been great just about his whole career at Georgia. So, you look at that and just some uncharacteristic things. I think Gunner missed a couple of plays he probably wished he had back and, didn't get those. But, you look at Chauncey Bowens and you wonder, is he going to get more? Because when he came in the game, those 9 carries, they were different now. Look at Zachariah Branch. I think Mike Bobo, it's 2 or 3 games. I got to go back. And look. I made some notes earlier this week. I think he had 20. I think he's got 27 targets the last 3 games, 28 targets, 27 catches, 11 first downs. Listen, guys, enjoy this one because this guy's going to be in the NFL next year, and this is what you pay for. When I told everybody in the offseason, I felt like Georgia went and spent in the wide receiver portal. Well, they went and spent in the wide receiver portal. They did. And they've got massive production out of this guy. And I think Noah Thomas has got better days ahead of him, too. I think he's going to get more involved. And, you hate it. Kobe Young was a transfer. He was a portal guy, even though he got hurt this year. So, London Humphreys, the Tennessee catch, that was a portal guy. So when you look at all those things, it's real interesting. And I don't think Georgia's going to back off. But Zachariah Branch is different, man. It gives you a headache. Now, let me say this about Gunner, too. I wanted Gunner to stack a little cleaner game against Florida. He didn't. But I will tell you, when they needed him on some key throws, he was damn money. He hurts you enough with his legs, too. I can't say enough about the blocking. These guys, I thought the offensive line played pretty good. Monroe Freeland continues to be that guy that's really quietly having a really good year over at left tackle, and they needed that big time, man. That's going to be – we're not going to talk about it tonight. That's going to be one of the biggest decisions, I think, in the offseason is if Georgia gets Monroe Freeland back. Where's he at left tackle? This guy – I think if Monroe Freeland were to come back, I mean, he has potential to be an All-American type player. And, he's had a hell of a year, man. He really has. My man checking in here from Alaska, Castle Rock, Colorado, Fairbanks, Alaska. Sean, if you don't mind commenting, tell us what the weather's like in Fairbanks. Sand Mountain, Alabama, not far. So, guys, appreciate y'all checking in here. And we'll get to some questions right here in just a second with you guys. But let me mention Mississippi State, and we'll get into some questions. Worries me. Just going to tell you. I think their strengths is something that Georgia hasn't done great this year. I mean, their passing game, they got a 5th-year quarterback. They got 2 wide receivers that are 10-300 guys. I think Kirby said that Thompson was one of the most explosive players on tape that he's seen in the last 3 or 4 years. I would say Jamison Williams from Alabama is one of the most explosive players I've ever seen. So if he's got Thompson in that, in that group, this guy can roll now. And then you look at Anthony Evans, who was a guy that, kind of was on the cusp of playing at Georgia. And he's had a great year. I mean, both of those guys have really fit in that offense. So, man, they worry me to death. Georgia's got to find a way to get off of the field Saturday. I do think Georgia can run the football on them. I do think Georgia is can score some points. I really do. Jake Rowe, talked with him earlier. Jake's my guy. Jake said that, he thinks that Mississippi State is really reliant on shot plays. Like they have to have a lot of chunk plays like that. If they can't get those, then Georgia get off the field. And, when you got guys that are 10-2, 10-300 like that can absolutely explode on you, that makes more sense. But the run game for them, they've struggled with the run game in Georgia. If you can keep that offense off the field. But I'm telling you, I went back and watched the Texas game, and it fell apart on them late. But they ran up and down the field on Texas, and every game they've just about been in every game. And their quarterback hurts you with his legs more than I thought, and that further that worried me a little bit too. So it's early. Georgia's hour 10 away. They're going to be up early. I would imagine pregame meal will probably be at probably 7 a.m., 6:30, which is crazy. And that's not unique. Whoever plays there at noon, that's what you do. But I think they're staying in Tupelo. So, it's a little different. But listen, I'm not going to make mistakes. You just got to experienced team. You got to lock in. You got to go play a game. It's going to be loud over there. I don't care. It is a noon game. Damn cowbells. That place will be packed. So, it is what it is. But I'll say this, guys. This team is something else, man. This is every week I say it. It's the damnedest thing I've ever seen. Like this team, they know how to fight, man. They will drive you nuts, and sometimes you're like, what are they doing here? But when it's time to flip that switch, man, and I keep saying sooner or later it's going to bite you in the you-know-what. But every week they sit there and they find a way, man. I anticipate another four-quarter game. I really do. I anticipate another four-quarter game. I promise you. I haven't made my final prediction, but if I had to predict tonight, maybe 41-31, something like that. It could very well be a shootout, and but we'll see. We would all love for Georgia to go out and just handle this team and win 38-17, and let's have a great Saturday and get the momentum going into Texas. But I don't know, man. Their strengths match up with Georgia's concerns, and it's a big one. But let's get to some questions, guys. Let's get some questions. I think that's what you're here for, and I appreciate, again, everybody being here. I also want to say again, guys, Hotel Indigo in Athens. You get a chance to go by there, go by and see Barry, all the crew there, indigoathens.com. And I say it every week, guys, this is not just a game day hotel. This is the entire experience. Parent weekend. They do weddings there. I saw a picture of some weddings this week. We got a great bar area, great food. You're going to love it. Huge parking lot across the street. And I promise you this, we're going to have some special guests the night before Texas. So just lock that in. We will be there early. We will do a show from that patio the Friday night before Texas, and we're going to do it right. I promise you that. I might have talked to Barry and him, because if Georgia winds up hosting a playoff game, we're going to have to do another one at the Hotel Indigo in December. So we'll make that work. But I do appreciate everybody going by there and those type of things. Let's take some questions, guys. If you get them in here, we'll get going. And appreciate you guys checking in. And it's awesome, man, to be here with you tonight as we get our first playoff rankings here in a minute, in probably about another 20, 25 minutes. Rusty, with the fallout at Florida, any chance Georgia want to bring in the back that went to Florida to let up some of their recruiting? Katie Turner? No, I don't think Katie Turner. She did a great job at Georgia, but Georgia's got a great staff right now. They got a great staff. Angela Kirkpatrick, Logan Reed, all that crew over there. Former Georgia softball player Lindy Ray Davis, who I coached when she was 10. She now works in the recruiting office. They got a great group of students over there. I don't, to be honest with you, she'll land somewhere, but I don't think she ends up back at Georgia. But thank you for that answer, that question there, Jason. Is Cole and Jones going to be ready to go? Chris Cole, yes, I think Chris Cole is going to be good to go this week. I talked to some people earlier today. I do. DeMello Jones was really worried about that one, but listen, his mom made a post, and I think Kirby backed that up. His mom made a post, said he's just real sore, but he's good. I was worried to death about that elbow, and we'll see where it is. It'll be interesting if Daniel Harris winds up playing some this week, who's been limited in special teams. But, you never know who you're going to need. And listen, if I'm Daniel Harris and I get in, this is your opportunity, man. But right now, I would lean on DeMelo playing, but I feel stronger that Chris Cole will be there. Do we think Sokovi transfer after the season to try to fill the Zach Branch slot if he goes in? I think Sokovi goes another year. I think Sokovi is a guy that he doesn't have the top end of Branch. He doesn't. And that's kind of the separator. But I will tell you, the Sokovi change of direction and ball skills are elite. The guy can catch the ball. He can get in out of his breaks. I don't know that he has the actual get to fifth gear that Branch has, but I do think Sokovi is a guy that very well will see his role more next year. And, I think he committed to Georgia to play, and he's right there on it. Just happened to have a guy come in on top of it, and they really needed Branch this year. I mean, obviously they needed Branch, and I think Georgia went out and got one. Mm-hmm. Everybody's asking about Jordan Hall. Let me say this. Just a tough deal, man. And you hear Kirby saying he hated it for him to get hurt down there. He hated it. Said he doesn't expect him back anytime soon. I don't expect Jordan Hall back anytime soon. So we'll see if he can get in, kind of on the tail end of this thing. But, they haven't really said specifically what it is. I've talked to some people that I trust, and, just tough break, man, for a kid like that. And you hope by chance maybe that at some point late in the year he could get back, but right now just don't see it. Don't see it. Is Calhoun going to get more reps anytime soon? Daniel Calhoun, he's behind Glover, and Michael Ooney is behind Glover. And right now, guys, number 63, he may be Georgia's best offensive lineman. Like this dude, if you go back and watch games, Cole Kublik had a post tonight on him. Guys, this guy's going to be freshman All-American. Like this dude is balling. And again, let me say this about Dontrell Glover. They call him Donnie. He's from Langston Hughes. Remember now, he was committed to Alabama for a long time, and Georgia got him back. It didn't make a ton of news, but when Nick Saban retired, Georgia kind of got in there and got back that momentum with him. So I'm telling you, man, this guy's going to be freshman All-American. 63. He is a bad dude. JJ Hahn, he's playing some. Yeah, he's been playing some too. Yeah. And I don't know that it'd be interesting how they do the D-line, especially this week, playing a passing team like that. But he gets some reps. But, the other guys right now that are playing guard are just behind 63. And that's just, in fact, when they take 56 Micah Morris out, they slide Glover over and they put Juan Gaston. So right now their two guards behind Micah Morris would be Juan Gaston at right guard, and they slide Dontrell over to left guard. So that's kind of where we are, man. With a large number of coaching turnover at the top-ranked schools, does Georgia leave more room for potential transfers over high school recruits than Georgia would normally? I don't really know the number there, but I do know, I think that from what I've talked with people, Georgia's they feel good about what spots they will have in the portal. I will say this. Now, be careful with this because I don't want everybody to come back on me and go, you were wrong. Georgia is going to be very active in the transfer portal. Georgia is not going to be the highest bidder in the transfer portal, but Georgia has gotten some good results with some of their stuff. And I do think defensively, just being honest, just right now, I think Georgia's got to have a safety. They got to have at least one or two D tackles, and they got to have an edge guy. And those aren't cheap, okay? So we're talking monetary numbers and real stuff here. Georgia understands what they've got to do. Georgia probably understands what they're going to lose in the portal. They're probably going to lose some O-line depth, my opinion. they're going to lose some O-line depth because they got 2 freshmen that are starting. They got some younger guys in behind that. So we'll see there. So Georgia may have to get into the portal offensive line-wise too. They just took a JUCO tackle last week. But I think edge is the number one thing. Edge for me is the number one thing. I think safety would be number 2. They have got to have somebody there to play beside KJ Bolden. That is, to me, that is what I would consider, a Georgia just no-brainer. You know what I mean? So we'll see there. What we got here next? With Jordan Hall's injury, who's expected to step up? If you're a member of DawgsHQ, we did a DawgsHQ Plus earlier today. Jake Rowe did a great job of that. So I'm not going to dig too much in that. Nnamdi Aboko, number 95, is a guy that I think could be the next guy to get some snaps there. 95, I thought he played pretty good now there. Jordan Hall, I saw on the Texas board, they were like, Georgia lost their best defensive lineman. He's probably behind, like, snap count. I know he's behind Christian Miller and Elijah Griffin, but Jordan Hall fit a really big role for Georgia in that middle. They could trust him, those types of things. And you hate it that he's not going to be around. But they got some other guys I think that can fit that role and ask what he was doing there. I'm interested in 95, Nnamdi Aboko, and what he does this week. Good question there. What do you think about Glenn Schumann becoming a head coach within the SEC? Here's what I'll say. Okay, a couple of things here with Schumann. They've had a tough year. They have, defensively, and they've had a tough year. They have. Glenn Schumann would tell you the same thing. Don't confuse that with people not holding that against him as far as a young up-and-comer who's been in the Alabama system, who's been in the Kirby Smart system, who's seen it all. I do think that Glenn Schumann is going to have a real good chance at one of these jobs. I do not know which one. I do know that I have people I trust that Glenn Schumann has been very careful on his next move. He has things personally that he wants checked off before he would leave Georgia to do something. I'm not going to get into his personal stuff, but I do know some of these jobs would fit those, check those boxes if that's something he wants to do. And eventually he's going to be a head coach. And we will see. But, Glenn Schumann is happy in Athens. His family loves Athens. He's got 3 small children. And but I will say this, that he does, as you would imagine, want to be a head coach one day. And these are very attractive jobs. So we will see. I don't know that 100% that he's the top guy for some of these jobs. I see some of these rumors going around. But I can tell you, outside the coaching world, he's still very respected. He's got a really good agent, so he'll have an opportunity there. I think UGA was lucky to win a Florida game. I'll take a win, but this team is consistently losing down after down on offense and defense, very inconsistent. Is that youth or identity or a mix? Georgia wasn't lucky to win that game. They played not great, but they found a way to come back. Got to be careful when you say lose down after down because this team is 7-1. Now, let me say that again. This team is 7-1. Hasn't been clean. There's been some times you're like, what's going on? But Georgia has come back on teams. They haven't been gifted plays. They have made plays, okay? That throw against Tennessee was a made play. That fourth quarter, when they hadn't stopped Ole Miss the entire night, they gave up 14 yards in the fourth quarter. That wasn't a fluke play. That was a fourth quarter. They got after their ass. Yes, you want a more complete game, but they got after them in the fourth quarter. I went to the field. I know we mentioned that. I watched it. That was the first time Chambliss had happy feet, and he started looking at that D-line, and they got after him. That was created by Georgia. They got to be a lot quicker than that. But be careful with that lucky part. I know you get frustrated how they're winning, but, guys, they're 7-1. So let's simmer down a little bit on some of that. What else we got here? How many yards does Branch catch this year? I don't know that he's going to have enough. He's not going to get the 1,000-yard mark. I think he's like 350, something like that, 360. It's targets and explosive play. What you want to watch now are targets and explosive plays. And the problem they had they were facing so much zone. So Bobo was doing what he had to do. He would just throw it to him. Like if it's a quick screen, slant, whatever. Now you're starting to see some things where they're getting a little bit more man. And when you go man-to-man, you saw Florida go man-to-man with the linebacker on him on third down. He ate that linebacker up, dude. And what did Gunnar Stockton do? As soon as Gunnar Stockton saw Zach Branch on that backer, that was the easiest 8 yards of the game. The big third down there, the long play there when he runs across, Bobo stacks him so they can't cover him up. And he comes out of that play. They blitz. Gunnar does exactly what you're supposed to do. He threw the slant right in behind the blitzing linebacker, and Zachariah Branch rolled out on him. So listen, it's going through him. You better find out where he is. I love this part about Branch. Just because he's getting it doesn't mean you can stop it. This dude will hurt you now. And I'm excited to see what they do with him the rest of the year. What's going to be the hardest team to play this season? Because that's a good question, Noah. The regular season, I'm going to say Georgia Tech just because I don't think Georgia Tech's great defensively, but I think Haynes King, that offense, is such a nightmare to deal with. And this guy he's unique now. I mean, if Haynes King, guys, if you don't look at his numbers, what he's doing, they're not great defensively, and I kind of hate that they got exposed a little bit before Georgia got to them. I kind of knew they weren't great defensively, but offensively, 2 years in a row they have given Georgia fits. Last year was next level fits, and quite honestly, that was a game they very well. If they get 1 foot on that fourth down, the ball game's over. But Georgia created that now. So, but to me, Haynes King would keep me up at night dealing with him. He sure would. But they got tough games. This Mississippi State game's tough. Freaking Texas coming into town. No easy path. Where do you think Georgia be ranked? We're going to find out here in about 10 minutes. I think, they're going to run the show long. I think Georgia's probably going to be 5th. I think it's going to be Indiana, Texas A&M. It might be Alabama, Ohio State, then maybe Georgia. I think Indiana's going to be number 1 because they win at Oregon. I really do, and it really doesn't. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I think Georgia will be 5, though. I do. They'll be probably 1 ahead of Ole Miss because of the head-to-head. But be interesting. It'll be interesting Ohio State because I do think Ohio State's roster is damn good, but they haven't played a soul. I mean, they haven't played. Texas was not great then. I don't really know how good Texas really is as far as a top 10 team, potentially down the line. But, Ohio State hasn't played a soul right now, but I do think their roster is damn good, damn good. How can Georgia make the SEC championship? I think now there's all kind of tiebreakers and stuff. Somebody posted on our junkyard, our DawgsHQ message board today. There's like 6 tiebreakers. Alabama's got a 2-game lead, obviously, on Georgia. And I think Alabama to not get in would have to lose to Oklahoma and Auburn, I think. If you want to play in that game, you need Texas A&M to lose. And then you need Alabama. I said my old on the dog walk. My old company there. Free shout out, you guys. But my producer got on to me. Going back to that, but you need Texas A&M to lose one there, and I think there's a crazy tiebreaker in there, but it is what it is, man. How many of y'all want to play Alabama? Okay, let me ask you this in the questions, and we'll get out of here. So I'll read this. Let me ask y'all a question. Would you rather Georgia host a playoff game and not play in the SEC championship? Fair enough. Or would you rather Georgia play Alabama right there and then go straight into the playoff? Either way, win or lose. Fair question. A lot of people, it doesn't really matter about who you played, Alabama or Texas A&M. The question is, do you want to take a chance on getting somebody hurt? Georgia lost Carson Beck in that game last year. Was it worth it? I don't know. I know it's a great game, and you always want to play for championships, and you always want to play, but I'll say this. the 4 teams last year that got buys, all 4 lost. So that's just a question. Just a question. Let's get about 3 or 4 more here. I know everybody's getting antsy to get into that. But, hey, guys, I appreciate y'all being here too, man. It's awesome. Can you update on Isaiah? A lot of people ask about Isaiah Gibson. I mean, he's a true freshman right now, and he's just trying to, get better every day. He's not ready to play yet. Doesn't mean he maybe some point this season, but it's going to be a big off season for him to make that move, and a lot of potential. Got kind of banged up a little bit in camp, kind of put him behind, and right now just got some guys ahead of him that are playing, but need him. Be great if he come on right now, but it'll be a big off season for him. What the big D tackle from Dublin, Nazir Johnson. He's close, but he's not right there in that group yet. And he's a guy that probably you will hear more about as spring rolls in. He was kind of raw coming out of high school. Big athletic kid, though. Never forget his highlight tape turn a backflip at 300 pounds. That was damn impressive. But Big Nazir Johnson's a guy that I think his best days are ahead of him. Mm-hmm. Did Kobe put enough on tape to be a high draft pick? I don't know that Kobe to be a high draft pick. To me, a high draft pick will be first or second round. I don't know that Kobe goes there. I think Kobe can be a third rounder. If Kobe runs good, he might can be a second rounder because he's got size to him now, and he blocks. He's a great kid, and you certainly hope wherever he goes. I think he's if he stays healthy, he could play a long time. He can play a long time in NFL, man. I love this post, and I think I said on here last week. He made the post. He goes, "Look, guys, I didn't die, and Georgia won. I'm good." So. And I told you he was going to be a leader, and there he was with his scooter right there on the sideline helping those guys. But I would love for the Falcons to get Kobe Young. We need a number 2. Elo Mendoza update. I think he's playing. You watch number 18, you watch him come in. He's playing. I think right now he has trouble with the bigger tackles in this league, and that's something he's having to adjust to. But he is playing, and I watch him a lot when he comes in. He's just not really getting off. He gets kind of swallowed up a little bit with those guys. But I think if he gets in the off season, he can have time to work on and gain some weight. Yep. Man, I hate it for some of y'all. I see y'all's comments about ESPN right now with the thing. I hate to say that, and I'm gonna go a few more minutes because. Regardless, when they start this show, they're going to talk for 10 minutes. So, can Phillips be used on a wheel route? The problem with Dwight Phillips on any type of wheel route deal, so small. You know what I mean? Like in a setting like that, Georgia, a lot of things with him. The problem right now with Dwight Phillips is when he comes in, he's getting the ball, and it's hard. Because he's not big enough kind of to pass pro right now. People talk about Cash Jones all the time. You can have all the opinions in the world. But when 32 is in the game, he will absolutely square a linebacker up. He can pass pro. But you can't tip it off, so you got to get him some touches too. But Dwight Phillips right now is a guy that, somehow you want to figure out a way to get him. So let's take 2 more questions, and I see some of this coming on. So you can go over to the Dawg Walk, our message board, and we will be talking about it too. So let's get 2 more questions in right here before we get out of here. Jeremy Bell, is a kid from South Georgia. Everybody loves, just got guys ahead of him right now. Doesn't mean he's not going to be that guy, but Georgia's wide receiver room's pretty damn good, guys. It's so much better than last year, so much more consistent. When you get Zach Branch in there, London Humphreys has done good. It is what it is. And you hated Kobe going out, but Noah Thomas is the guy that's got to get involved. And I think Dylan Bell's had a great year quietly. So, the wide receiver room is pretty good right now. And they're going to have to replace some guys now. Zach Branch will not be there next year. So let's enjoy this and not rush him out of here. But there's going to be a lot of targets, a lot of touches with Noah Thomas, Kobe Young. and Zach Branch gone. A lot of guys got opportunity, and Jeremy Bell might be one of those guys. I don't know that Zach Branch is a first rounder. C.J. Allen, I'm telling you now, C.J. Allen is playing himself into close to me. And everybody will be like, well, it's going to be how he tests. Because, guys, it's so hard to – that's the beauty of Georgia and these inside backers and why they continue to go in the first round with Glenn Schumann. These guys are in a pro system. They're making the calls. And C.J. Allen right now is playing some of his best football at Georgia, and he's healthy, guys. He's healthy for the first time in a long time. So, Zach Branch, he can be an early second rounder for sure for me. Yeah, no question. So, last one, guys. Last one. If Schumann were to leave, who do you think replaces him at DC? If Schumann were to leave, I mean, I don't know that T-Rob wouldn't be the obvious choice there. And that might be Kirby might go out, but, you look at a guy like T-Rob who's been in a lot of different systems. He knows this system. To me, he would get a long look, and that's a guy you can plug in place, and then you can hire someone else back there for the secondary. But, I don't really know exactly what they would do there. And who does Glenn Schumann take with him? Who knows? There's a lot of things there. Would he take Chidera with him? Would he take Trey Scott with him? These guys usually take one or two with them. So if Glenn Schumann leaves, that will definitely open up some questions and things like that. Kirby Smart got the job. The first person he took with him was Glenn Schumann. So if Glenn Schumann gets a job, we'll cross that path. But I would imagine T-Rob would be a name that just, I would say, not a done deal, but I think he would get a long look probably. So, guys, thank you very much, man. Always Tuesday night, Dawg Talk Live, presented by Hotel Indigo. Go by and see those guys. Come by and see us next week. We're going to do it right over there. But Hotel Indigo in Athens. Let's get ready for a big one, guys. Mississippi State this week. Who knows? You're going to get your money's worth from Georgia. 7-1. We're about to find out what this playoff committee thinks about it. If you're unable to watch, come over to the Dog Walk. We will have a thread going talking about it. Got all kind of stuff going on over there. Jake Rowe, Jeremy Johnson, Jake Roos, those guys. But that's going to do it for Tuesday night Dawg Talk Live with Rusty Mansell. Thank you, guys, and we'll see you next week.